My task will be to conclude for today, not the final conclusion, but just to briefly summarize what we have been through the past couple of days. We have listened to some amazing stories, both today and yesterday. We have heard about the amazing things that are currently unfolding in cities, in companies, and in communities. We have all attended numerous conferences discussing climate change policies, carbon markets, green growth, and the urgency of the issue. We have listened to various arguments about why we need to act now and why we cannot wait till later. We have heard that we are reaching a tipping point. We have discussed the role of business and how many emissions needed to be cut by this and that year. We have argued that we need a new industrial revolution. And Richard Florida just mentioned that we need a new revolution. But guess what? That revolution is already taking place. Not in terms of a global political agreement. We are not really there yet, unfortunately. But in terms of practical solutions. We are seeing a revolution that is growing from beneath. That is what these past couple of days has been a testament to. The change is already happening. So while we have struggled to understand the complexity of climate change, a range of encouraging and inspiring examples have already been successfully implemented around us. Examples that are demonstrating that taking environmental responsibility also can gain us a big profit. We can make money out of this. What we did yesterday in our various working groups that were taking place all over the city was to pinpoint exactly where the business potential lies. We were discussing how to unleash the potential. So our focus now needs to be on how we communicate that potential. Our consumers, the global citizens of the world, needs to understand what sustainability is all about. So we need to focus on the way that we tell the story. I bet that many people on the street have no clue what a low-carbon economy means. And does it sound exciting? Would you like to live in a low-carbon future? Maybe not really. Why would Mrs. Smith decide to buy a ticket to a low-carbon future when all she's told is about emissions trading systems and cost and adaptation curves and smart grid systems? I don't think that that's the kind of stuff that makes Mrs. Smith decide to go on a journey to a more sustainable future. We need a tangible and compelling image about what a sustainable future is all about. We need a vision that is telling Mrs. Smith how a world could be like if we unleash the potential that lies out there. How Mrs. Smith could create a better life for herself and her family. Without that, we will continue to create the confusion, the disconnection, and the uncertainty among the people. Definitely not the change that we need to see happening. So, I got some good news for you, because we decided to create Sustainia. Sustainia is a vision about how we could live in 2020. That's only 9 years ahead from us. If we decided to implement the solutions that are already there, if we decided to go ahead and unleash the potential now, in collaboration with 16 global companies and 6 global organizations, we have developed a clear, inspiring vision of where we believe a sustainable path would take us. How would the world look like if we implemented ready and available technology and solutions? How would Mrs. Smith's home look like? How would her city look like? How would she get around in 2020? All of those things that communicate to Mrs. Smith how her world could be like in a sustainable future. So Sustainia is a vision. It's a vision designed to communicate complex scientific data about that people actually understand, that people can actually relate to, that appeals to people. So Sustainia is all about communication, about making what we talk about in conferences, what we write about in our long reports, understandable to the people that actually need to make the change happen that we're talking about. I bet that Nike would never have succeeded in creating a global business empire selling shoes if they had communicated in long scientific reports about the technology data behind their shoes and their materials, and communicating in graphs about the potential of their shoes, etc. They didn't do that. They were showing us a desirable vision of, and a desirable quality of life you could get if you started running in Nike shoes. They were telling us to just do it. You need to prioritize your communication strategy. You need to realize that you are selling an attractive and appealing, sustainable lifestyle. Not just heat pumps and windmills and solar panels and windows. You really do need to communicate better, or we will never get there. If we fail to communicate to Mrs. Smith, she will never bother to change. Nike is not just for shoe nerds that reads the scientific data behind the shoe reports. Nor should solar panels be for the people that actually reads the benefits of installing solar panels. So, true leadership is about translating vision into reality. And that is what we have done the past couple of days. That is what we have talked about. Yesterday and today, 500 business leaders from 21 countries have witnessed the greatest story never told. Our task now is to continue to tell that story and to make the change happen. We need to just do it. And to finish everything off on a high note, I would like to invite the mastermind behind it all, the CEO and founder of Monday Morning, to conclude the day. So thank you, all of you, for attending the past couple of days. And another good news is that you will all get a copy of Sustainia on your way out. So you can take that home to your companies and maybe inspire your communications people to start communicating about these things in a different manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Could you issue me a passport to Sustainia, Laura? It has been, I think, an inspiring and challenging afternoon. But we can meet here in 1 year's time without documenting that these past days have made a difference. We feel that Green Growth leaders has a very strong responsibility and obligation to help making that change. It is our ambition to be a catalyst for change. And we have put that ambition down in writing, down in a manifesto, inspired by the workshops, inspired by discussions and initiatives the past days. I won't go through this manifesto, but I'll just read a few paragraphs just to get the notion and idea how we feel about this. And it says like this: leaders can and should lead by example. Leaders should rethink business models to create value in a sustainable economy. Leaders can accelerate the transition by experimenting and encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit, by setting up public-private partnerships, by sharing information, by enabling people to make sustainable choices. Together we have produced a comprehensive catalogue of examples and guidelines on how to shape a sustainable economy. The sustainable economy is emerging around us. It's our choice if we want to embrace it and turn it into the greatest story ever told. So we started with the greatest story never told. In a year's time, it should be the greatest story ever told. This document, this manifesto, will be handed out to the EU Commission for Climate Action, the OECD, the Danish government, the C40, Eurocities, and the UN Global Compact in preparation for the World Summit on Sustainability Rio +20. They are all part of the leadership. So next year, it is our ambition that we prove that this event was the first destination on a long and fascinating road to a still more developed Sustainia. So please embark on a journey, and we will meet next year. And I hope, and we have the ambition, that we really could look back and say, okay, we had 2 good days, 3 good days, and we made a difference. So thank you again for coming here. Seeing you next year in Sustainia.